Boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. On Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. Ho, ho, ho.
Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, you know there's 203 days until Christmas 2024, Nerd Mafia. Did you know that? 203 days, my friend. Oh, and Will Morgan, good to see you. Mike Porter, and of course, we've got Jedi Mike there as well. Good to see all of you. And April, thank you so much for stopping in. I've got some thoughts. And I'll say this. It's a good thing I did a rewatch today. I've mentioned this before. So we're just going to start right off the top. Hold on. First of all, I keep forgetting this kind of stuff. The channel's been losing members. We've been losing subscribers. We've just been on a downward trajectory forever. If you like what we do here, it would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to the channel if you could share this out. Let other folks know what we're doing here, and that we just love Star Wars. And I know there's a lot of videos going out with my honest review. I'll give you all my honest review, but also just want to let you all know my opinion has changed just a little bit. Just a little bit. Last night, let me give you my first take. My very first take. Not good. My very first take was not good. The Acolyte, episodes 1 and 2. And I sent to Jason Ward, sent him some DMs. I didn't really want to put it on my Discord. I didn't want to share it with everybody. I just shared it straight with Jason Ward and makingstarwars.net, and was disappointed, highly disappointed. And at the time said, is this probably my least favorite live action Star Wars series or season of any. Of all of the Star Wars stuffs, this was my least. It was my least. I felt like the aesthetics, I saw Will Morgan use the word aesthetic. I used that as well. It threw me off. The whole thing threw me off. And episode 1, I was like, these sets look terrible. And it threw me out so much. All the time I'm watching, I'm trying to remind myself. Star Wars TV is not Star Wars movies, right? So I was just like, that boy Steve, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate Mrs. Claus? No, Mr. Claus. What do I rate it? I'll get there in just a moment, that boy. Steve, I'll get there in just a moment. I was like, this threw me off so much that the show itself, I was like, ooh, can't take it. I watched the whole thing, both episodes, and I was disappointed. Least favorite of all the Star Wars I've seen on live action on Disney Plus, and I was not good. So I rated episode 1 like a 6.5, C-. If you think of it on like a grading scale for school, a 65%, that's not going to do you. That's a D plus even, right? That's pretty low. I gave it a 6.5. Episode 2, I gave it a 7, which is a C. And so I was like, oh, 70% C. It's like, this is just not doing it for me. So I was like sleeping on it, resting with it, went back to it, kind of calmed myself down. Did a rewatch today. So I went from, and I've mentioned this before I get into the rewatch. I've mentioned this before. Recently, well, it's not all that recent. I rewatched Rogue One on my new TV. We got a new TV a couple of years ago. It's a 4K ultra high def, like really, really nice TV. 75-inch thing's huge, right? It's fantastic. And I got excited to rewatch some Star Wars on it, and I rewatched Rogue One. In Rogue One, when they were on Scarif and they're making their way into the station and getting the Death Star plans and all of that, I was like, oh, these sets look terrible. this movie is unwatchable. It was like watching a bad soap opera. Like, the sets on there were terrible. And I was like, this Rogue One, why do people like it? It is bad. It looks terrible on my TV. Well, then I learned you've got to turn down some of the settings on those new TVs, because the ultra high def and some of the upscaling they do can make things look too real, right? They make them look too realistic. And so I was told, hey, you got to turn that stuff down, Brian. You gotta tone it down and it'll look a lot better. So I did. I rewatched. It's like, oh, much better. We ran into the same problem when I was watching Kenobi. Like, these sets look horrendous, absolutely terrible. And same problem. Some of the special effects on there, some of the like explosions on the screen were terrible. I was like, how did they get by with just putting off some fireworks in the corner, making us think that that's anything? So I went today and I came to my other, I've got a HD TV. It's a 55-inch I have in my office, and I rewatched it. And I'll tell you, it looks great. It looks fantastic. It looks wonderful. It's everything that I expect out of Star Wars. In rewatching it on this TV, it didn't throw me out. I was able to stay with the story. I was able to stick with it. I was able to enjoy it so much more. I wasn't like, this just looks like a bad soap opera. No, it looked like Star Wars. I was completely taken into the universe. The worlds looked real. The sets looked great. And with the sets and the universe looking real and everything looking great, oh boy, I am so much happier. I am so much happier. It's just top-notch Star Wars. It went from being my least favorite of all the Star Wars on Disney Plus to climbing quite high. It's still really early in the season, so I can't say that I know the whole, where it's going to fall. But right now, I would say episode 1 and 2, way high. Somewhere in that 90-95% percentile. Like, I give them an A to A plus, right in that range. I'm not going to give them 100. Not going to give them the A plus 100% on the exam. No, I'll give them a 90-95%. And there's a couple of reasons. One major reason that I knock them down, and that's Vernestra Rowe. Boy, oh boy. I've read the High Republic novels. I've never been a huge fan of Vernestra in the books, in the comics, any of that. She's fine. She's a kid, 15, 16 years old. Whatever. And most of the young adult series, they're okay for getting the content, but they tend to be a little too junior high-ish for me. So in a lot of that, Vernestra, not a big deal. But there's a neat story with Vernestra. One is she was knighted, a Jedi Knight, at 15 years old, like the youngest Jedi in ages, or maybe ever, to get knighted, to pass her Jedi trials and have her Padawan braid cut off and made a Jedi Knight. Secondly, she gets a little disillusioned with the Jedi. There's some issues that happen, some events that happen, and she just feels like there's too much death going on, that there's too much bad stuff going on. And with all of that, she decides to take a little break, time out. Says, I'm going to go be a way seeker, which is where somebody leaves the Jedi Order as an official like Jedi, but they still have a relation to the Jedi Order. They're just like, I'm not taking orders from you all no more. I'm not following you no more. I'll touch base. I'll come in every now and then and say, howdy. But other than that, I'm on my own. And so with these way seekers, Vernestra goes off on her own, seeking the will of the Force. Like the Jedi Council, it's like, meh, not dealing with that. And she goes off on her own. They come and find her and bring her back into the story because they need her help. So they go get her. She comes back. She gets involved. All of that. Now we get these episodes, and I'll tell you, Vernestra Row's performance in these episodes did not follow my liking. Did not follow my liking at all. And let me show you something else. And you may already be familiar with this. Most of you have probably already seen plenty of breakdowns and reviews. But this is the Vernestra Rowe, this lady right here, the one that is in the books. She's got this purple hair, whatnot, right? I don't like bald Vernestra. You could have given her some purple hair. The actress herself has hair. She's not bald. So why not just give her purple hair? I think it would have looked so much better. And it would have come across visually better. But given the visual thing that kind of set me off, the stale performance, the stoic, just deadpan stuff. And also the way that she's protecting the Jedi Order seems a little inconsistent with the character who left the Jedi Order to follow the will of the Force. Somebody who is more interested in the will of the Force than the Jedi Order. Didn't care for how Vernestra was portrayed. Now, that's why I knock it down from 100. I don't want to overemphasize the negative, right? Because on the rewatch, I'm watching it, I was completely engulfed in the universe. I was brought into the storyline, and I enjoyed it tremendously. Tremendously. It's just Vernestra Row's performance and her character that's a little disappointing. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe through the rest of the season, it'll get more exciting. So I'll be really looking forward to how this unfolds. I've got a little bit of knowledge about what's happening in the next 2 episodes, and I'm a little concerned about the internet as a whole. But you know what, my friends? The internet's a tough place. And I posted this on Twitter yesterday. The original trilogy ignited my love for Star Wars when I was 10 years old. And I've always been a Star Wars fan my entire life. I never stopped being a fan. But the prequel trilogy kind of broke me. And I just stepped away for a while. Said, I don't care. right? Didn't really care that much. Plus, there wasn't any Star Wars going on. It's not like we had TV, movies, anything like that. I never did get into the publishing side of things, comics and novels. So, other than the original Heir to the Empire or whatever, maybe one of my friends would lend me and say, "Hey, Brian, you got to read this. Yeah, it's just fantastic." So I read some of those things, but I wasn't like a voracious reader of Star Wars, and I just took a break. And it wasn't until the sequel trilogy that my passion was reignited. But dealing with some of the online discussion, it is nearly breaking me. And it's this fandom. It's you all that keep me engaged. The fans that I've met through conventions and different places I've gone, different things that I've experienced, and online here through YouTube, the Star Wars fans. We all have our different opinions, but it's the Star Wars fans that bring me back in. The online social media stuff that deals with nothing but the culture war side of things, I'm just not into. And that culture war stuff is the stuff that's completely frustrating. And some of the narratives going out that are just not true, I get energized by, and I just got to step away from it, right? I got to stay away from it. So I want to talk about these episodes. I want to talk about Star Wars. I want to talk about the Acolyte. And I am very, very happy, right? I am a happy Star Wars fan today after having rewatched the episodes. I'm a happy Star Wars fan after Acolyte episodes 1 and 2. And I am very much looking forward to especially 5 through 8. 3 and 4, I know some spoilers too, but 5 through 8, I'm super, super excited for. I'm really looking forward to 3 and 4, seeing it myself and learning more. I've kind of stayed a little bit away from all of the spoilers, like getting the entire episode breakdowns. I just know what happens. So I know what happens in episode 3. I know what happens in episode 4, but I don't know the details. I don't know the whole show experience. So there's that. There's that. Hey, Art says, I liked it way better than I thought I was going to. Very good cast, production values. Very good, Art. Very happy for you as well. And I've been trying to keep up. Will Morgan, anybody have a Kylo shirt? Let's see, what else? Sounds like Santa slept on it, woke up, spiked his coffee, and enjoyed it much more. Well, if you know me, you know it's those Mio energies. I did have a Monster Energy and a Dr. Pepper, and then a Mio Energy. So I'm all hyped up on caffeine. So you've got that much right, Nerd Mafia. I am hyped up on caffeine. Nerd Mafia. So basically, 4K is best for animation video games. It's really good for sports. That 4K ultra high def is very, very good for sports. Just the detail, what you can see and what you can experience is really good. Let's see what else. Just to get Star Wars MCU. I watched on a black and white TV from 1959. It looks amazing. Very good. And did I buy the 4K TV or did I have the elves make it? Well, the elves are busy making toys, so we don't want to take them off topic. We don't want to take them out of their lane. And as always, when somebody asks me, "Hey Santa, I'd like a 1959 Ford Mustang with this or that," I'm like, we make the toys. Like, that's all we do. If a kid comes and asks me for a horse or a unicorn, I get lots of requests for unicorns. I'm like, the elves make toys. So if you have a unicorn, we'd be happy to bring some toys for your unicorn. But you got to go find that on your own. Or if you've got a dog or a cat, a puppy, kitten, we'll bring some toys. But we're not bringing you a new kitten, right? That's not what we do. So so there you go. The elves did not make the TV. We had to buy it. We had to buy it. Yeah, old movies from the 80s are unwatchable on high def. Yeah, they look fake. That's exactly the word, Will. They look fake. And they just look terrible. Aggressively relaxing. Good to see you. Oh, Thrawn is Star Wars Sherlock. Yes. So Soul and Clem need to find Star Wars Hercule. What is that? Hercule Poirot? I don't know the reference there. AG. um, Mike Porter, watch everything on my iPhone. Dat boy, Steve, I'm a shill when it comes to all things Star Wars. There's nothing I really dislike or hate. There's just things I prefer more than others. That's a great attitude, Steve. I appreciate that as well. All right, so let me get caught back up with the chat. If I missed something, you want me to go back to it, just put it back in there, and I'll try to get it. There's literally channels that say don't watch Acolyte garbage, and then have an Acolyte party the night of the premiere. Yes, I know what you're talking about, Will. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to get into content here in just a moment. Sometimes I get down on Star Wars, and then I think at least I'm not a Star Trek fan. Oh boy, I was a Star Trek fan all through the late 80s, early 90s. Star Trek Next Generation was fantastic. And when I was in high school in the mid 80s, they used to play the Star Trek reruns of the original series. I love those reruns. Right after school, come home, get myself a snack, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, something like that, and sit down and watch an old Star Trek rerun. That or MASH, right? They had a lot of those on right when I got home too. Yeah, Star Wars gets clicks because it's so popular, and work on the internet for the same amount of money for the choice is clear. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a side of the internet that just likes to tear things apart, find flaws and problems and things, and augment those. And in many cases, they take it way, way, way too far. Enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Can't wait to watch next week's episode. Yes, Brandon. So we're going to, let me see if I can just get caught up here. Bespin. There he is. There's my friend Bespin Bulletin. He says, I watched him twice. Still feel the same as he did last night. My opinion improved greatly when I got away from that 4K ultra high def. I was able to stay in there. Matt Risman. There he is again. Risman. Good to see you, Matt. Wait, you mean Santa can't fix divorces between mom and dad? Oh, yeah, can't fix divorces. Can't bring your dad home from deployment. Yeah, you can't. I've had women come and ask me for a husband, and men come and ask me for a wife. Santa doesn't do that. Santa doesn't do that. Leia Rose, happy Palpatine Skywalker, Ray Palpatine Skywalker Day. Thank you, Leia. All right, I think I've caught up with the chat. Let's break down episode 1 and talk about it just a little bit. And as we do it, I like to go through our predictions together. And you know what I did? I put this up here so we can take a look at it together. Let me, while we bring this up, I'm just going to play this back here in the background. I've got to mute it. It looks like it is muted. And we'll get past the intro. Just so we can kind of go through this together. And you can see right here behind my logo what's going on. This is... So I paid really close attention on the rewatch. Most of the show I paid attention, but we didn't have any non-Jedi deaths in either episode. And then the rest of it, as I was watching along, I would look for points. So when we were going through the episode, looking for how did I do on my predictions? And let me bring the predictions up here. I'm going to share this on the screen, and we'll leave episode 1 playing right here in the background. If you guys, we get to a point in the episode you want to bring up, make sure you bring it up. But it's playing right back here. And I'll tell you something else. Putting the subtitles on is super helpful when you're looking for some clues, especially when it comes to scoring on these things. So episode 1, let me make this a little bigger. I think we can get them all in here. There we go. Episode 1 says a Jedi will die, one or more. And you see it, I think we have 100% yeses on this. We knew coming in, there were lots of spoilers out there that Indara right here was going to die. And this part of the episode kind of cracked me up because May comes in and she makes this, stance, like, attack me. And everybody's just sitting around the table. all these folks just kind of laugh at her, right? They're just like, you're silly, right? Eli Martin, I like X-Wing's take on the Acolyte. You have great taco shell set design and some romaine lettuce, but filled it with DEI. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So look here, Eli. Boy, oh boy. I don't want to get myself in trouble. And at the same time, acknowledge what you say here. For those that don't know, DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they're throwing it into everything. There's nothing you can watch, anything, in any format, any genre, any studio that doesn't have DEI. It just flat doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. All of it is DEI. And most of it, the vast majority of it, I hate with a burning passion. There's a great animated series that I love. And we've got my friend Star Wars Fitz in chat. Kieran and I have been watching this animated series, The Young Prince, on Netflix, full of DEI nonsense, full of it. I can't let DEI affect my overall enjoyment of media anymore, or I couldn't watch anything. There's nothing. Animated shows, cartoons, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, game shows, right? Well, watch Jeopardy or watch Wheel of Fortune. Watch any of it. Watch these, what do they call them? Oh shoot. Trying to think. Amazing Race and Survivor, right? All of those shows. All of it's in there too. DEI is in scripted. They're supposed to not be scripted, but they're sort of scripted. But it's in everything. And Kev Z says, my problem is it's starting to affect the quality. Yeah, that's the problem. Does the DEI affect the quality? And so far in this show, no. I would say no. So far in this show, the DEI hasn't taken me out. I see people complaining about, why is everybody got to be a woman? Why do we have to have women everything? Look, they just do. So the thing is, are the characters compelling? Is the story compelling? And hopefully in this reality TV, that's it, Fitz. Yeah, reality TV. DEI is in reality TV too. So hopefully this show continues telling a compelling story. So that's my hope. So far, so good. So far, so good. I'm right there. All right. So a Jedi more will die. So right here, Indara, she's gone. We kind of knew that was going to happen, right? So everybody says, yes, Indara is going to die. She dead. Indara is dead. And I thought they covered it fairly well here, right? Aggressively relaxes. I know it's not PC or DEI enough for you people, but I like looking at women. I'm not going to apologize for being a dude from America. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, me neither. But just make it good. Make it good. We visit more than one world or planet. Yes, and we're going to break from this planet here in just a moment as the show is unfolding. We visited several planets in this episode, and I think that this might be something we see throughout the series. We're going to see, Indara didn't last very long. That's right. That's right. She didn't. So here we go. Now we get the intro. Indara is dead before even the intro. So there's the intro, and we're right in here. And Eli says the dialogue in Acolytes can't be in a high school musical way, not the fun Jar Jar way. We could disagree on the Jar Jar thing. I didn't think the Jar Jar way was fun, but anyway, have that. The writing in House of the Dragon season 2 is going to make the show look like it was written by a kid. They didn't. Well, the different strokes for different folks. I thought the writing in this was not too juvenile. It was fine. It was Star Wars enough. And you go back to George Lucas in his interviews, and he talks about his writing's terrible, right? George Lucas's dialogue writing, absolutely terrible. And the actors, right? Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, all of them would be like, George, have you read this stuff? It's it's so bad. And George has to remind, look, this was written so that kids would get involved. And a lot of times the humor, the dialogue in it is cringy. A lot of times the humor and dialogue in it is just bad. I don't like sand, right? All of that stuff from the prequels, terrible, terrible dialogue. But it's Star Wars. And either you just embrace it or you just got to move on, right? So I've learned to embrace it, right? I've learned to embrace it. A droid will be referred to by name. Now, we just saw Pip right there. Pip is the little handheld droid that OSHA has. And we do get Pip by name right here. We'll do this, replace all. And we get that in both episodes. Kev Z says you have House of the Dragon, The Boys, Bear season 3. They may get flooded and forgotten. We'll see. We'll see. Star Wars was never meant to be complicated, just beautiful and hopeful. You're right. Hopeful is key, is absolutely key in Star Wars. Now we've got a scene coming up here that is getting some criticism. Here we go. Let me do this so you all can see what's going on. We got a fire in space right there. You can cook your marshmallows on that thing right there. We got a fire in space. What's up with that? Right? How can you have a fire in a vacuum of space? Well, you do because it's Star Wars, my friends. You go back to the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, you get sound of spaceships going by in space. No, you wouldn't hear it that way. Also, with fires, right? We get explosions in space. Some of the things that happen with the Death Star and the fire and all of that, not in a vacuum of space. So at some point, you just got to let that go. You got to let it go. Fire in the vacuum of space. If they're out there cooking their marshmallows on it, you just got to be like, well, it's Star Wars. Don't think about it too much. As Jedi Mike likes to put, don't think about it too much. Nerd Mafia, I was mad when she called it Pip. Will you be mad because maybe you said no? Right? So let's Star Wars MCU. As long as the story's good, I don't care about superficial. Where is it? Superficial stuff. Right. Star Wars fits. I noticed that with the fire. An astronomy fan, that ain't gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen. The Nemoidians here we get from the prequel trilogy. A lot of prequel kind of things. And I saw in some of the breakdowns of this here when it comes in, thank you for your cooperation. Nemoidians are not able to resist Jedi mind influence whatsoever, right? So here we get OSHA walking in. She's like, Yord, buddy, pal. They went to school together. A fun thing I wanted to bring up here, and just because I know we've got Fitz and we got some folks over in the UK who are regular fans of the show, who are here quite a bit. OSHA, OSHA, is a government agency in the United States, Occupational Safety Health Administration, OSHA. They make sure that your work environment is safe. And it's hilarious, and I've seen people bring this up, that OSHA is doing something OSHA would not approve of. Right? They say that the Republic has passed a law. People aren't allowed to go do, spacewalks, blah, blah, blah. But here you get OSHA in her job as a mech tech or whatever it is. It's a very dangerous job, and one that people don't necessarily want to do, but they do it because of the money. And in this, they've pretty much banned the job. But here OSHA is doing the thing that OSHA would not approve of. I thought that was kind of hilarious. What else we get? I see lots of comments going. I appreciate the comments, my friends. It's great. It really helps with the show, showing that we have interaction here. Apparently, Star Wars writers weren't taught about the triangle: oxygen, fuel, heat. Look, it's Star Wars. It's space fantasy, right? There's all kinds of problems. If you start trying to apply science to Star Wars and make it a science fiction, it falls apart in about every way you look at it. Almost every single aspect of Star Wars falls apart as soon as you start throwing science into the mix. Don't do it. Just don't do it, right? Take it as it comes. It's fantasy. Fire in space, sure. We sit out there and cook our marshmallows on it. Go for it. Did it do enough to establish the characters for y'all? It feels very disjointed. Yeah, the characters aren't fully developed for me either, Eli. They're coming along, but they're not quite there yet. They've got some work to do. Not only that, but she couldn't get the job done without a droid, right? It's fantasy. Baymax says, check your DMs, Santa. Okay, I'm checking. I'm looking. Oh, thank you, my friend. Baymax is giving me my thumbnail for the show today, so I'll get that thumbnail put up right away. And then there's this hilarious thing here. Let me, since we're see if I can hold on. Open that in the browser. Close this. Move this so you all can see what Baymax just sent me. And again, don't get too worked up over this stuff, my friends. Don't. All right. Let's see. Let's share this. Baymax sent me that. Body paint. Net weight 3.4 ounces, $180 million budget. Calm down on the budget. We'll get there. All right. I want to get back to, so here's our first scene with Vernestra. We're on Coruscant, so we get multiple planets. And this scene with Vernestra, just, she's too stoic, too flat. I thought it was really good in this lesson that Soul is having. They're like, what do you see? And they give some of the right answers. And the one little girl says, I see fire. It consumes everything, right? It's growing. This girl right here. She says it consumes everything. And Soul takes it and says, it can be like fire. It can be like water, right? It's powerful. The force is powerful. And here's the answer for balance. Life. And this girl says, I see fire. Initially in the previews, we thought this might have been like a flashback, but it's actually happening in timeline. It says the force is powerful like fire or the ocean, right? it can the power we must respect. And so I like that lesson that he's teaching there. Let's get back to our predictions for episode 1 right here. We'll see more than one lightsaber color in the episode. Yes, we did. We get to see at least 2 lightsaber colors in each episode. I went back and made sure I paid a really close attention. Both of these episodes have more than one lightsaber color. So the answer here is yes. We get in this episode specifically, at the beginning, you initially get Indara's lightsaber, which I forget right now. I want to think it was blue, might have been green, blue or green. I can't remember. Indara's lightsaber at the beginning. Then in just a little bit, you're going to see the yellow lightsaber of Yord. Yord ignites his lightsaber that's yellow. So we get more than one lightsaber color in the episode. Yes, we did. And look, Santa said no. What was I thinking? We meet a new Jedi we've never seen before in live action. Well, the guarantee on this was yes. This was easy, and I think everybody said yes. So we'll give everybody a point here. Replace all. Done. The next, someone is killed, a non-Jedi. The answer for both episodes is no. So we'll say no here. And then I got a question coming up here. Someone uses Star Wars slang. I know in episode 2 they do. And I was rewatching episode 1, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure in episode 1, did anybody say, "May the Force be with you," like Dank Farrik, or any kind of Star Wars slang? So while I wait for you guys to answer, let me get caught up with the chat again. Sabersmith, hello. How'd you like the first episode? I liked it much better on the rewatch. I give episode 1 a 9 out of 10. Episode 2 a 9.5. Yeah, Yord sounds so rigid. Be surprised if he falls to the dark side. Yeah, he's a rule follower for sure. Jedi only ignite their lightsabers when they kill, or they need a flashlight. True. Right. True. She had Matrix Green. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Matt Risman says, "May the Force be with you." Yes. So they did say that in episode 1. Perfect. Nerf her. Episode 1, "May the Force be with you." Mike Porter says yes. The feed is Trade Federation is kind of slangy. Good. All right, so we give everybody a point here for Star Wars slang. That's yes in both episodes. So we'll replace all. The next, someone uses the Force observably. Yes, that happened for sure. Yes, everybody gets a point there with the yeses, except Boba Rhett, who said no. Sorry about that, Boba Rhett. Oops. There's a reference to a named Sith. This is thrown in just in case we do get at some point some reference. I fully did not expect it in the first half of the season. Episodes 1 through 4, I would say the answer to this is likely no every single week. Right? This is just not going to happen. If we see it at all, it might be like Damask Holdings. They'll have some meeting with somebody at Damask Holdings, something like the Trade Federation folks there. We saw the Nemoidians, whatever. You might get a reference like that. Or like at the very, very finale, we may get the name of a Sith in there. Or if the Jedi are kind of arguing what's going on here, they may bring up the name of a Sith from the past. But I'm just going to guess no, because I think the chances are it's always going to be no, right? So for this week, it is a no. And we do that. And then replace all. Then lastly, a species or droid speaks with another in another language with subtitles to translate. Not in episode 1. You see, Santa said yes. Not in episode 1, but episode 2 definitely had it. So that was great for my predictions, but not for episode 1. Baymax says, "May the force be with you" isn't slang. It's in the predictions itself, Baymax. So I can show you where I gave it as an example. For light and life, may the force be with you. Both of those were given as examples for, let me just go in here and, hold on. Let me open this. Hold on one second. For Baymax, I'll do this for you, my friend. Let me open up the actual predictions themselves. So you can see I gave it as an example because we combined some questions together. And when we combined the questions, I went ahead and added it as a definition so that it wouldn't cause too much trouble. So let's get this up here. Can you see that now? So here's the predictions. Oh, nope. Move it. Here we go. So here, now you can see. Now you can see when we get down here into the predictions, says someone uses Star Wars slang. Examples: "May the force be with you." For light and life, nerd herder, wizard, dank ferret, Carabas, buckethead, etc. So in that case, I in that case, I defined it just because we did some question combining them. So let's see. Let's get back. Episode 1. A species or droid speaks. Nope, that didn't happen. All right, let's get into our bonus questions. Bonus questions to find out how we did. I said May fights in Dara in a tavern or bar. Yes, that's a point. So, all right. So we've established for the Wall of Fame, 8 or more get you onto the Wall of Fame for episode 1. And Brett Phillips says, "R.I.P. Master Indara." Yep, that's a point. Carrie Ann Moss's character dies. Mike 80. Yep, she's dead. We see the Wookiee Jedi in the first couple of minutes. Ooh, Ethan. I like the guess, but no, it didn't work. We see a Jedi outpost that's not the temple on Coruscant. In episode 1, no, we do not. In episode 2, we do, Daniel Fisher, but Daniel made it onto the Wall of Fame in any event with 9 out of 10. Baymax right here, he's already on the Wall of Fame with 8 out of 10. A droid repairs or carries out maintenance on a vehicle or piece of tech. I'll give you that. Pip was involved with doing some maintenance, and so we'll count that as a point. The question is this a 5-pointer? Is this a 5-pointer for Baymax, where he says a droid carries out maintenance on a vehicle or piece of tech? I think I got to give him more than 1 point. I'll give you 5 points, Baymax, with 13. He gets 13 out of 10. Good job, my friend. Boba Rett, Yoda makes an appearance. No. Learn about our main character's mission. Who's the main character? Are you talking about Osha? You find about Osha's mission? Or are you talking about May? Is that the main character? We find about her mission? I don't know who you mean by the main character. But I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, because we know that May wants to kill people. I'm going to assume you mean May, and because I have to fill in so many blanks, I give you 1. So Stephen, you get 10 out of 10. Good job. We will see a new creature introduced we've never seen. I'm going to say yes. Nerd Mafia says she's the Acolyte. So May would be the main character. So Star Wars Politics, 9 out of 10. Made it. Brian Stone, OSHA is accused of murder. Yes. That was already in some spoilers ahead of time. We knew that was going to happen. So you get a point. We see a new alien species not seen in Star Wars before. Yes, we did. The guy with the head tentacle thing, right? What was that? That guy was cool, right? He could reach out there and whack, tear off a droid's head, tear off a droid's arm. He was quite effective at that. So we did see that. Nerd Mafia, the meditating, hovering Jedi dies. Oh, you got ahead of yourself, my friend. Look at that. Nerd Mafia with 7 out of 10. You missed the Wall of Fame. Oh, no. No. Oh, no. Nerd Mafia. Matt Risman. Nemoidians will attempt to deny that OSHA's on their ship. Yes, Matt. That was in a trailer, and you got it. Good job, Matt Risman. 7 out of 10. Missed the Wall of Fame, though. Hello, Skywalker's Academy. Good to see you. Indara dies in the first 15, maybe 8 minutes. Yes, you get the point. A ship flies in space. Brian Kelly, that's hilarious. It's hilarious that you do that because in these bonus questions, I've got to pull this up again. Bonus question. I put in here the qualifications for points, right? And a ship flies in space. Where is it? I think we put it right in here. Where is it? A ship flies in space. There it is. It's 1 point by definition, right there. He took it. 1 point. Very good. Brian Kelly, he made that onto the Wall of Fame. Good job. Matt Risman says, that should be 5. We never knew or saw the denial in the trailer snippet. They just said they were in the series. Oh. All right, Matt Risman. I'll give you 5. I'll give you 5. Matt Risman with an 11 out of 10. Saber Smith says, wait, how are we getting points for the things we saw in the trailers? You just get 1 point. It says on there, just 1 point for something you see in the trailer. May fights Indara in a bar. Yes. And Carry On Mess's character dies. So there you go. That's episode 1. Everybody with 8 or more makes it onto the Wall of Fame. So Brett Phillips, Mike Yaney, Daniel Fisher, Baymax, what there with 13, Boba Rhett, Stephen Murphy, Star Wars Politics, Brian Stone, Star Wars Fits with 9, Matt Risman with 11. Good job, Matt. Skywalker's Academy with 9, Brian Kelly with 8. That's our Wall of Fame for episode 1. Dale says, we didn't know how soon Indara dies. I think we did. And I think we did, Dale. And I think we knew that this bar scene was in the very first of the episode, and that was Matt Risman says, we didn't even know she would die. We did too. We did too, Matt Risman. You did too. Kev Z says it was clear she was going to be the first to die. I saw, it says it was never revealed in a trailer she died. I said trailer or also say in any leaks, right? In any leaks. And that was definitely shared that she was going to die. But I see how you all are being. You want me to give Dale more points. So Dale, I'll give you more points. I'll give you 3. I'll meet you in the middle and give you a half, right? Half out of 5, 2.5, and I'll give you the extra half, right? Definitely was in the leaks. That's right. It was 100% in the leaks. There you go. There we go. Isn't a new species a 5-pointer? Fitz says. No, you would have to tell me more than just a generic, like a new creature. It had to be something more than that. All right, so let's start talking about episode 2. We've got episode 1 graded here. Episode 2, I want to talk about some things before we get to the prediction scores. And I'm going to go ahead and stop episode 1 from playing back here. And if you guys want me to mention anything else from episode 1, Lost and Found, we can do that. But episode 2, Revenge, Justice. Looks like this series is going to use this 2-word thing as a it says Nerd Mafia. Go ahead and talk. It's your show. Thank you. Let me get past. All right. So I will bring that up because it was right at the end of the episode. Let's go back just a little bit in the recap here. So we know for sure she has a sister. There's been some say criticism that the secret of the twins was revealed in the show. It was already shared in a lot of spoilers, even in a lot of the interviews with the actors, where they revealed that she was playing 2 characters. So Osha and May, and so we get that reveal in here. We see them as sisters. The big question right now: are Osha and May a dyad? I think they are. I don't like it. Right? I think one of the things from Rise of Skywalker that I just didn't care for, and actually the sequels, but the dyad thing in the and Matt says in the poster too, right? I didn't care for the concept of a dyad in the Force. Just not my favorite. Okay, not for me. But it's a thing. And now, if we're going to have Osha and May as dyad, all right, I reckon that's fine. But I don't care for it. I'm not all that. I'm not all that thrilled with it. But it does seem they are definitely set up to be a dyad. Nerd Mafia. Dyad, schmyad. So I think that's the case. But let's see here. We see May is alive. Osha goes back here, May goes back here. A lot of us think that this is Octo. I think that it is Octo. Maybe we'll learn that it's not. Like every desert planet isn't Tatooine. So not every island like this is going to be Octo. But this looks like Octo. All right? I think this is Octo. And there's some talk. Is this a female? And when you see them stick their arm out right there, it's a very thin arm. They said that some of the features of this character could be female, and the voice modulation is to hide that. We saw that concept in Solo, where she was wearing a mask and you couldn't make it out. It very well could be that this is a female, and it might be the mother from their coven. She may have survived, like May and Osha survived. But it also could be a male. There's another a theory that this is Khmer, right? Matt Risman, please don't gender the Sith, Santa. Trying to get me in trouble. Khmer. I don't think it's Khmer. And the reason is, in the interviews they did while they were doing the press junkets, he said his character doesn't have strong force abilities. Just in the interview. Now, he's either just lying in an interview, which, actors and lying, yeah, it happens all the time, right? So he very well could be lying, but he may be just ignorant of the storyline enough to not know that he's spoiling something. I don't think he is. I don't think Khmer is this dude. I don't think it is. This is either a different dude. There's another reason I think this. This dude is like on Octo. Khmer is wandering around. He's going different places. You may say, well, Santa, just because he's on Octo doesn't mean he always has to stay there. I mean, the guy could go wherever he wants. True. But I don't think it's Khmer. So my opinion, not Khmer. So we shall see. OSHA has the full power of a federal government agency behind her. When she calls for an answer, she receives CPA from he's leaning into the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Oh, very good. Hello there. Hey, Real Ben. Good. Thank you for your DM on Twitter. I haven't responded yet, but I'll try to communicate with you. We'll get back to. I'll get back to you. It's going to be interesting. Skywalker's Academy. He also has a faster ship than May, so he can talk to her and then zip there ahead of her. Maybe. He said it's like a 7.3. I've revised my score. I was at a 6.5 and 7 my first watch last night. I have revised it to a 9 and 9.5. So my scores went up dramatically. All right. So we had this little recap worth bringing that up. So let's get this going. We open up. Here is a Jedi temple on another planet. And they get the droid coming out of the wall, speaking, does all the things. But here you do have the subtitles. I left that on because as that droid is talking, you actually get the subtitles on screen. So there's that. So let's get into our predictions and talk about this episode just a bit. Episode 2. Let me see. We've got everybody here. A Jedi will die, one or more. Yeah, we have the dude here. I can't remember his name right now, but she's getting ready to go visit him. And I thought this scene that's coming up, and we'll bring it up here so you all can see better. I thought this scene was really well done with him doing the meditation. And then he's got this like force bubble around him. He's taken this vow that says he's going to commune with the force. And this is a thing from the novels, especially, where they'll do this. They'll take and they just spend time. Torbin. Yeah. Torbin is the dude's name. Master Torbin, Torbin. She's got beef with him. There's 4 Jedi she has beef with. She's already taken care of Indara. Torbin, he dies in this episode. There's 2 more Jedi that she has an issue with. One's a Wookiee, and they mention how you think killing these 2 was a problem. Wait till you go up against the Wookiee. And then the last one is Master Soul. Those are the 4 that she wants to get retribution for. So I liked this series where she can't attack him, and she's got to kind of figure out how to get him to come out of that meditative stance so that she can attack him, so she can kill him. She really wants to, but no, it doesn't work. All right, visit more than one world. Yes, we definitely get more than one world here. Replace all. Next question. A droid will be referred to by name. Yes, we got Pip again. These new names are meh. They're fine. They're fine. Yord, Torbin. These names are fine. We don't have Jedi Master Steve yet, so I'm okay with that. If we could have Ben Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, I'm fine with it. We don't have Matthew, Mark, or John, so we got Luke right out of the Gospels. Take that. A droid referred to by name. Yes, we see more than one lightsaber color. Yes, we do. Almost no, but it came up later, right? Came up later in the episode. There are 2 lightsaber colors in here as well. Just to tell you all what I know, or what I've heard, what I've read, and watched on other YouTube channels, people who got these 4 screeners say in episode 3, they don't remember lightsabers being ignited once. So episode 3, the answer to question 4, I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go with no, just because I watched a video yesterday from a dude who had the 4 screeners, and he mentioned in episode 3, he didn't remember. One of his criticisms was the very few instances of lightsaber usage, and episode 3 there was none at all. So I'm going to go with no. In this episode, we do get 2. So so there's that. We meet a new Jedi we've never met in live action before. Yeah, we just met him. We just did. Jedi Knight Leroy. Yes, we did meet another new Jedi in this episode. So we'll mark that as a yes. Someone is killed. A non-Jedi. No, nobody does. And then this, here we go. Get to the next question. Star Wars slang. We do get another May the Force be with you. Not only that, but we get a great episode of I've got a bad feeling about this. And also it's a trap. So all of those were in there. As they were said, I was like, the it's a trap wasn't like the way Akbar does. Says it could be a trap. I said, oh, it's a trap. So a bad feeling about this is in here. There's some good Star Wars quotes, but the only one that counts as the slang is "May the Force be with you." So he said the thing. People get their point. Replace all. Done. All right. Someone will use the Force observably. Oh yeah, we get lots of that. This episode, in a little bit later, we get lots of observable use of the Force, and it's actually, a really nice example of it. And I'll bring it up on the screen when we get there, if we get time. By the way, I have a meeting in 25 minutes, so I've got to make sure I'm off of here on time. There's a reference to a named Sith. No, there's not. And I think the safe answer here is always going to be no. And maybe from time to time that'll be wrong. But I think the vast majority of the time that'll always be correct. A droid or species with the subtitles, yes. So there's that. We had that right at the beginning. All right, at the Jedi Temple. All right, Santa's got a 9 out of 10. Yeah, the Sith code is briefly spoken. That's true, Real Ben. We get some of that as well. Mike Porter. I don't have a meeting. Mike Porter. Yeah, we get references to the portions of the Sith code. May fights soul. So the last one I put, May fights Indara. May fights soul. That's a 1-pointer. That was also in a trailer. We see him fighting in one of the trailers. So I can't take that for extra points. Kev Z says, Jedi Knight Leroy McAllister. Kevin. What about Kevin? Kevin McAllister, right? When he was a child, his parents left him home alone. And then the Jedi come by and pick him up, train him, and he becomes Jedi Knight Kevin. How about that? Now I need a Jedi Kevin. I really do. Why can't we have Jedi Kevin? That's what I need. Binge watcher had no prediction. OSHA talks to Pip. I'll give you 1 point for that, Brett. Ethan, I think we might see a Night Sister. You're an episode ahead. From what I understand, next week we get a flashback episode. That's where we'll see the episode with the Night Sister ladies, the mothers, and all these like witches around, and where the Wookiee Jedi uses the Force. I think all of that starts to fill in. What was this thing that happened back in the day? What was the thing? I think we'll start to get that. Yoda is mentioned. Nope. Daniel Fisher, we see flashbacks from one of the characters. Not yet, Daniel Fisher. That's coming very soon. Next week. Next week are all the flashbacks. Well, we get lots of flashback. Baymax says a masked villain confronts the Jedi. Oh, I read this before, Baymax, and I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Because the masked villain could be May. Or are you talking the masked villain being the dude with the helmet. What do you mean by masked villain? Well, by just going off the pure words of it, a masked villain, regardless what your meaning was. Yeah, right. She's wearing a mask. So May is wearing a mask when she confronts the Jedi. So that's a yes. That would get you at least 1 point. And we saw that in a trailer where she's fighting with Soul, like I put in mine, right? No, it says it says a masked villain confronts a Jedi. Yeah, May isn't a Jedi, but she confronts Soul while wearing the mask. So that's so you either get 1 point or you get 0 points, depending on who you meant by the masked villain. If you meant May, you get a point, as in a trailer. If you meant the hooded guy, that would be 0 points because it wasn't in here. So I'll give you 1. Baymax gets 1 point there. We see a Nemoidian, Stephen Murphy. That was in episode 1, not this episode, but it still made it with 9 out of... Oh, I have a 10 out of 10, don't I? You got to have 10. We have nobody on the Wall of Fame yet. In fact, looking at the points still lined up, nobody is eligible to make the Wall of Fame once we get past Stephen Murphy. Unless we get a 5-pointer in here. What do we got? We'll see a new creature or beast or animal introduced we've never seen in Star Wars. So there's Star Wars politics again. I'll give you the point because we've seen it. We've seen it. We see a Jedi Wookiee. Oh, the Jedi Wookiee from the trailer. Yes, we do see him right at the very end. Someone will say we are all the Republic. Fitz went for a High Republic quote. Didn't happen. Good try, though, Fitz. Nerd Mafia. You need the 5-pointer, Nerd Mafia. You're not going to make it. What's he say? A Jedi gets accused, then pursued after being suspected of killing a Jedi, and I get kicked off my school basketball team. Oh, well, if you were playing for your school basketball team, you would definitely be kicked off, for sure. But no. No point for you. A Jedi by the name of Torben will take his own life. Matt Risman. Now, Matt, this is very specific, and I know what you did. So don't you fight me on this. Don't you fight me. I knew this by this exact information myself. I knew this exact information myself prior to this episode airing. So don't you try to get bonus points, because it was definitely in some information that I had as well. And it was definitely leaked. So you get a leaked point, Matt Risman. Kamir is on to Osha before she gets anywhere questioning him. He knows she isn't May. He figures it out for sure. Yeah, Nerd Mafia, Matt over here collecting leaks in a bucket. Yes, he is. Mike Porter got kicked off his Jedi team. Well, Mike, all you can do is go back to the council and ask for reinstatement. That's, try to correct what got you kicked off, and then go back to the council and ask to get reinstated. Kamir, he is not on to her ahead of time. So at no point, he does figure it out, but she gets the information they need as evidence against him right off. Oh, I want to stop. Oh, and it just meant Rugus Gnome is mentioned, Brian Kelly. No. See an alien species. Yes. Sitting, meditating Jedi dies. Yes. So there you go. Those are the points there. And nobody on the Wall of Fame for episode 2. You have to have a combined total between episode 1 and 2 of 18 points between the two. And some of you are going to be there for sure, because like Baymax from episode 1 had 13. He only needed 5. And so he made it for sure to keep up with the season leaderboard. That's what you need to do. There's another character that's introduced here, and I want to touch base on it just because many of you have not read into the High Republic series, and there's a character in here that is very much similar to a High Republic character. And I'm going to wait for him to show up here so you can see him. And then I'll pause it. Here he takes here we go. I'm going to back up just a little bit more. All right. So we have them. They're coming up with their plan. She's going to go get some information from Kamir, right? She's going to go get the information. Here he found it. He did it willingly, blah, blah, blah. We need to get, there he goes. He's walking through the town. I get rid of my trash right there. And when we get up here on the overlook, and I'm going to pause it here in 1 second. Yeah, I want to go. I need to go back again. 10 seconds. We'll go back 10 seconds because the subtitles give us some indication of who we're talking about. Somebody's talking, and it says this guy here who says it's not a regular guy. Let me do something so you can get a better look at him. I'm going to go in here. We're going to take the risk. This guy, you see this guy right here? This guy is very reflective of a Padawan from the High Republic. And this guy is also a Padawan. When we see them quote his name, it just says he is a Padawan. They don't give his name. You get Yord and Jeki and these others. You don't get his name. And I wanted to share with you this picture of a Jedi from the High Republic era, or he's a Padawan. His name is Ram Jamarin. Ram Jamarin. The Ram from the High Republic, this guy that I've shared on the screen here, he's a very nerdy kind of guy. He fixes things. He fixes droids all the time, right? These guys, that's what he does. He does very, very well. That's his thing. He's not much with the lightsaber. He's not much with using the Force. He can, but his main thing is technology, right? He does technology. That's his skill. And when you see this guy, and let's see if it shows him again, right there. I gotta remove my logo again so you can see him. And I do this, and I remove my logo. There, this guy right here. This guy wearing the goggles is very much like Ram Jamarin. Ram always wears these like goggles on his head and he pulls them down over his eyes. But this guy doesn't have the goggles, but he has this technology wearing it. He looks almost exactly like Ram from the pictures they've had. So there's that. All right. So I just shared that with you all. I thought we had another reference to the High Republic there for a minute, but this guy is definitely too young to be Ram Jamarin. Ram Jamarin would have been over 100 years old by now. So that ain't him. That ain't him. All right. So there's that. We've done our prediction scores. Let me just get right back to your questions, your chat, and then we'll wrap this up before my meeting. And we've got a Mike Porter dad joke. Mike Porter on point, absolutely on point with today's dad joke. Technically, Osha gets accused of killing Torben, then pursued by a dude with the blue lightsaber until Yord clears her name? Question mark. Oh, I mean, she does, but also, you didn't get kicked off your basketball team. But I'll give you a point, Nerd Mafia. I'll give you a point. I mean, it sort of happened. Ish. So I'll give you the point. Okay. There you go. Somebody says, the basketball team? The internet? No, Dale, it's an old joke. It's an old joke. Santa, it seemed like in the second episode that both of the sisters thought each other died. How's that possible? It's just intriguing questions. It is. So this is going to be key and it's going to come up. And there's a lot of questions about the twists and turns this series is going to take. Well, is Osha the one that we see, who's the good, right? The good twin is. We'll just use that term. We don't know if she's good. She seems like she's good, and Master Soul defends her, says she's got a good heart and all this kind of thing. So, is it possible that Osha is really not the good twin, but that she's the evil twin, and that May is really not the evil twin, she's the good twin, and there's circumstances that have them at this point make them appear to be good and bad? Well, I'll tell you this. Murdering 2 Jedi doesn't put you on the good list. You don't get on the nice list, right? Oh, no gifts from Santa. That ain't happening. So I will say that I think the case here is that I don't think they're going to pull that twist, but we might find out their motivations. What got them to where they are could very much be tied into what they believed happened. And I think something's going on, because Osha believes that May started this fire that burned down their village. There was some intent in there, and that it killed everybody she knew. So Osha believes that May killed their entire village through the fire she set. May is trying on some retribution path. We may find out that this fire was not started by May, but rather circumstances involving these 4 Jedi that she's out to kill started the fire, or that the fire was somehow enlarged by the actions of these Jedi. She may have started it, but they caused it to be much, much worse than it would have been. We've got to figure out how this goes. And they both thought each other were dead, presumed dead. We know that Master Soul, right? Jedi Master Soul says that he initially thinks that May is dead. Everybody was dead. He saw it himself. And then he comes quickly to realize, wait, well, maybe she isn't dead. Maybe I didn't see it. And so now things are mixed up. So that's really good. Dale, if Kamir figured out Osha isn't May before he admitted he made the poison, do I get another 3 points? No. You said before he gives up any information. He says that her using the poison, like he gives the information they need to convict him before he figures it out. Then he does figure it out, but not before he gave the information. Nerd Mafia, Kamir is the Sith. I don't think he is. I don't think he is at all. Darth Q-Ball. Kamir frame May. I don't think so. Obviously, something messed up happened. If Torben felt so guilty, he killed himself. Yes, exactly, Nerd Mafia. I've seen some great breakdowns of this, talking about how each of them responded. We see Master Indara. She seems to be like justifying. She's doing good. Then we get this Torben, who is extremely guilty, and he's doing meditation to try to come to terms with it. Our Wookiee friend, he is he put himself in exile because of it. And then Master Soul is trying to correct the mistakes of the past by teaching the next generation. Really good how all 4 of them are responding differently. Yeah, there's the flashbacks are coming. The flashbacks are coming. Let's get into the Mike Porter dad joke. I've only got a couple minutes left, and we'll cover this. KG, hello, KG. The Mike Porter dad joke today. Why is Jedi Master Vernestra so organized? How is she so organized? Well, she always believes in keeping her ducks in a row. Spelled correctly. Good job, Mike Porter. Vernestra Row. She keeps her ducks in a row. Very good job. Thank you, Mike Porter. And thank all of you. We've had a great chat today. The interaction really helps the algorithms on YouTube, and it'll help the channel. As I mentioned at the start of the show, our subscribers are down. members are down, our views, everything is on a downward trajectory on the channel. And I don't want to change for clicks. I'm going to be me. I'll give you my honest takes. I'll just give you my opinions, and we'll talk about Star Wars. Try to stay away from the social media stuff. Try to stay away from all that cultural controversy as much as possible, and just stick to the story. Stick to the show. And we have to acknowledge things where they have to be acknowledged. But I want to talk about Star Wars, and that's what we do here. So if you like talking about Star Wars and you enjoy what we do here, please let other folks know what we're doing. I appreciate it so much. And I look forward to talking to you again as soon as possible, maybe tomorrow, but certainly by Friday. And we will touch base again on Star Wars News of the Week Friday. May do a community stream if I'm able to work it out for tomorrow. Watch for more to come on that. And until next time, my friends, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.